Welcome back to another wonderful episode of the Convoluted Podcast. I'm your host, Liz. I'm with Tyrant, Dominus, aka Jesus. And if it's your first time listening, it's always fun if you could do subscribe. You'd love to hear our voices. If not, we're not making you, but it would definitely do us a wonderful number scale. Wherever the scale we want to go up. How are you, Jesus?
I am surprisingly more tired than I thought I was going to be for being on vacation. But it's been a busy week for myself and my family. We have introduced my niece to the world, so so my original plans.
I get to meet her too. She's so cute.
And then I recently had my 34th birthday. Got to do a bit of that.
Happy belated birthday again.
And just kind of my original plans were I was gonna be streaming every day for a few hours for fun, but that did not happen. I was running around small errands. And yeah, but you and me got to hang out a little bit, just kind of hang out. No work for the pod. You know, some people think our friendship's just for the pod, but no. But yeah, that's kind of been my week. It's been tumultuous is the least, but chaotic the most. But yeah, that's about it.
I don't know what's more chaotic.
What about you? How's your week been?
Well, I just came off night shift, so and then trying to be on the other side of the sun. I had to go to work 48 hours after being released from night shift.
Freedom.
At the same time, 7 a.m. Gotta turn back to work. Yay. It was okay. I kind of expressed my frustrations to the guy who did night shifts before me, and I was like, you did a pretty crappy job, I'm not gonna lie. He was like, what? He was like, how was your Mother's Day? I'm like, well, I was out of propofol before you were I even got to the main ORs. He was like, what? I'm like, mm-hmm.
Damn.
He's like, oh. I'm like, yeah. He's like, I feel bad. And we were out of vasopressin. He's like, what? What's vasopressin? Where is it supposed to be? I'm like, oh Lord. So, yeah, it was interesting. Granted, he only had one night of training, so I can't really give him too much shit. But I was just like, I'm gonna give you shit until Friday night. So until I leave this clock at 3:30, and you're gonna tell me, and then it won't be the last. It will be the last. I swear. I said. Okay, if you ever listen to the podcast, I swear this is the last time. I swear.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's been a very fun week of trying to be on the other side of the sun and on backwards and forwards. It's been fun. It's been fun, to say the least.
There you go. At least you'll be going back to reality, or somewhat.
Until I have to do it again.
The fun of third shift. Fun.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully we'll be circulating this summer. I don't think that'll be happening anytime soon. Yeah, I'm away, so I don't really know. I get little updates, but people, you're not working on the clock. I don't job that much. I care so much. Just pop in. That's it. But I did get information that we had a new person start while I was away, and they only
two. You said.
I believe you had two. I'll meet the other one later because the first one only worked for 4 hours and worked one day.
I guess it's better than us.
Wait, what? Did you have something shorter than that?
No,
Okay, you said
but
better.
it was better than ours. So I'm saying it was better. It was, it was just funny. There's this person we were training for night shifts. We had him on the days, and then we switched him to nights because we were trying to give them like the basis of what they're gonna need, all this information to have in the beginning of the day. So you have more of like you're awake. You're on the the right side of the sun, and he just kept struggling at the nights. And I guess 4 nights in, he's like, "I'm done. I can't do this."
Damn.
I was like, "Wow." He's like, "How do you survive this?" You just do. You don't. It's not meant for you then. I just do it. I live, that's kind of my thrill, and I like the money. So it's really my fault that I like the money. That overtime, that 2 hours of overtime, the night incentive fee, it just adds up. It really does.
It's
So,
one of those things where it's very disappointing that this is kind of where we're at. Some people take jobs not understanding what the job is, and just kind of, in a sense, wasting our time. Where
oh, I know. I feel like that every time we hire somebody and then we lose them to somebody or something better, per se. So
yeah,
it really
that's
does
what I
frustrate me.
that's kind of what I heard about this guy. I'll never have met him, but apparently, towards the latter half of that shift, he told the team like, yeah, this is not what I thought it was gonna be, so I'm going home. And
At least he was honest. I mean, honestly, at least that's great. I mean, you figured it out within the first 4 hours of your night. You're like, screw this, and it's not for me.
exactly
Bye.
at that point, I was like, you know what, I'm glad, because that's less time spent with that
We have
individual.
less time of training, less time of
So it worked
getting
out.
into the mold of things. Yeah.
It worked out for me.
At least he was being honest. He was like, yeah, this is not for me. Bye.
Yep. And it saved me some trouble when I get back. So, but it'll be a person that I've never met. There's been a couple like that. Yeah. I don't know, man. Some people just not the job, not the, don't force yourself.
I understand that. Like some people are not meant for night shift. I'm not completely full on night shift. I cannot do it 7 nights a week. It would not be worth it. Yeah. So, yeah, we're always losing people. We're always hiring people. It's gonna be an interesting. Yeah, definitely interesting, to say the least.
Okay.
So.
All right, everyone. We're gonna be jumping into some of the stories that we found. There are some good ones, some wild ones, and some ones are like, why did they even do that?
Right.
All right. Liz has got our first story for the week. Go for it.
The Chinese zoo under fire after dying dogs who resemble pandas. Two panda dogs, quote unquote, in a new exhibit are actually chow chows dyed black and white, state media reported, citing zoo officials. Commercial. Zoo in China has been accused of trying to deceive visitors with a pair of dogs dyed black and white to look like panda bears. Videos circulating on Chinese social media show that two panda dogs, quote unquote, in an exhibit of Tazhu Zoo is the eastern province of Jiangsu. I don't know. I apologize if I'm mutilating that.
Wait, what?
That opened on May 1st. Though the animals are pretending to look like pandas, which are endemic to China and an international symbol of the country, their wagging tails give them away.
Yeah,
Zoo officials told Chinese. Go ahead.
No, they look like little tiny panda dogs.
They kind of, yeah. I'm not saying they're not. They definitely look like panda dogs.
I can see why people would say like, "Oh my God, are they painting dogs to look like pandas?" But those are a type of dog.
Chow chow. They're mean too when they get older. Zoo officials told Chinese state media that they were chow chows, a fluffy dog breed originally from northern China, painted black and white to resemble giant pandas, adding that they had clearly advertised them as panda dogs and did not make any false claims. The dogs were still at the zoo, officials told NBC News by phone on Friday, where the number of people coming to see them remained at a normal level.
here's my question to
Ooh, I feel like I'm sneeze.
okay,
Yeah,
my
go
question to
ahead.
you at the moment. What would you consider a zoo? You know, it's been a
It is
while.
animals, right? And
Yeah,
captivated.
but
So it doesn't matter if they're existing ones out in the real known world, or they're out in wild, or they're actually captivated. So,
or
I mean,
domesticated.
what are you talking?
I don't know. If you said a zoo of dogs, it'd be cool, but I wouldn't. No, something about a zoo of dogs.
I mean, you think about it. There are dogs that are raised with, cheetahs, and to kind of give them companionship. So,
No, no,
I
no.
mean, are
So
they?
no, that's not what I mean. Like, so
They're captive. They're held captive with their cheetah
no,
mates.
what I mean is like that was the exhibit. These dogs, which they're overall unique in a sense, but it sounds like it's normal. So,
Well, yeah, yeah. Chow chows are part of northern China, as I was
so my
saying. So, I
question would
mean,
be one. I know this is gonna just a side tangent. Like, if we had like we made a little zoo of just a couple dogs, which like I don't know if I would consider that like
a puppy mill. Just kidding.
like like I don't know. When I think zoo, I think more extravagant, more quote exotic animals that it's not in your area.
Yeah.
Like if I just had a
I
couple,
mean, it was an exhibit, though they did express that it was panda dogs. Whether people were paying attention was the play on words.
now the real thing that people are debating about this is dyed animals. People who dye their animals. What are your thoughts on
Have you
that?
not seen that Instagram TikToker that does it?
No, I'm not in that part of
No?
not in that part of.
I randomly discovered that. But yes, it does exist. They use a lot of vegan, non-harmful, more organic based uh stuff, and they dye the dogs, make them look like certain animals or certain things, and or rainbows and stuff like that. It's kind of cool. I think it's kind of fun. I mean, granted, I would never spend the money on my dog to do that because my dog has very, very, very short hair, and it doesn't really want to stick or to anything except to my black clothes. I wouldn't want colorful clothes. Just be like, oh, what's going on over your black pants? My dog.
That's the thing. So that's
So,
okay. So
I
this is where the discussion is. The question is on dying animals and the like for cosmetic use, treating them as toys. Now, luckily, like any animal like our that is able to dye their hair, it is possible to dye animals' hair. But people would not. There was two uh pet groomers that put out statements out there that they personally don't do it at their shops, but they know ways of doing it like properly without you because most people if someone's going to do it probably someone who's going to do it at home doesn't understand like the concept of dyeing an animal's fur because one their skin's a lot more sensitive than it would be for humans, so imagine that you're just going to irritate your animals. And but you know how people are, they don't want to spend the exorbitant amount of money to pay a groomer to pay. So it's one of those things where like you people want these like fun gimmicky things but aren't willing to pay for it and are just causing potential harm to their pets slash
Now that's a little riskier because those people are not skilled or trained to dye animals. That's like you and me, a normal day-to-day average Joe. Um, no, no, absolutely not. I wouldn't do that at my own dog. But I'm like, yeah, I love my dog. I actually care about my dog. I feel bad when I leave my dog. So, hmm, I don't know. I just that's not good for the human populace. I mean, there are people who actually take them out to done by a professional, and the professional knows what they're doing. I would give the money to them because they obviously know. Oh, I'm not hurting this dog. I'm using this great. type of material to dye the dogs without harming them. Giving excessive access to chemicals and stuff like that. So
So yeah,
yeah,
that's
it's like
where all
cutting
the
our scalps.
yeah, that's where most of the discussion is. It's the thought of what we're doing to our basically our furry friends at this point, and then the whole thing of the facade that they were doing. It wasn't. It's like that's how they normally are, and if they got dyed a little bit, that's kind of their own thing. It's like, if they were advertised as panda dogs, they are technically panda dogs. They're little dogs that look like pandas. Would I want one? They'll be cute, but I know I would never keep a dog, so don't have the time. I know more than to respect an animal's well-being. Get one for out of sheer, like, what's the word?
What?
Kind of, yeah, the want, the want. Yeah, like as much as I want one, I know, like, it's just I'm not gonna be able to take care of it properly. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's jump into the next story. Is there anything about your?
It was a lot, so I don't know.
Let's find this one. This one got me that you posted, the Florida man one. You gotta love Florida man stories.
Which one? The 60-year-old one?
Yeah.
66 one?
Yeah, let me read this.
All right, you do that.
So a Florida man, 66, finds out he's not a U.S. citizen after being denied Social Security. He quote, "I'm overwhelmed." So a 60-year-old Florida man found out he wasn't a U.S. citizen after being denied access to his Social Security retirement benefits. James Claus, also known as Jimmy, was brought to the U.S. from Canada at 2 years old and has been living in the country ever since. "I feel that they're robbing me," Claus told people about the government's handling of his situation. "Here's a person that's been here for 64 years and I paid for it. You know what I mean?" He was made aware of his lack of citizenship after he applied for access to his Social Security retirement benefit. Claus' mother was Canadian, but his father was born in the U.S. and raised in New York. Okay. "1 month they told me I should expect my first check on the second Wednesday of 2020. But instead, after I got a letter starting that I haven't been proven them that I'm here legally." Okay, so that's when, like, okay, so you'll get your first check, and then a couple weeks later, yeah, you're not legal here. Claus, who was even accepted into the Marine Corps and the state police, tells people. Yeah. Let's continue.
What? What?
Who is accepted into the Marine Corps and the state police tells people that he had ever had issues or questions regarding his citizenship until he applied for his Social Security benefits. I don't have documents from the Marines. I don't have the documents from the Marines, but I have documents from the state police, and the only things that's ever requested was my driver's license and my Social Security card, proof of citizen, and proof who I was. And he also said that he previously voted in elections, evidently illegal now. Additionally, he had Medicare for over a year and a half. Representatives of the Social Security Administration did not immediately respond to people's request for a comment. According to WKMG, Claus has now gone back to work after spending thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to gain access to his Social Security fund. I even said to them, "Well, if you're not gonna pay me monthly, give me everything that I've paid in interest and we'll call it a day." Claus recalled to...
Yeah, absolutely.
And they go, "And we can't do that either." I said, "Well, what can you do?" Claus has since created a GoFundMe page to replenish his savings. In the description, he shares that he hired an attorney, genealogist, and retrieval documents for the United States Citizenship and Immigration Service. As of Friday, May 17th, the fundraiser has raised more than 15 out of 1,000.
$1,000.
Yeah. As I'm getting older and not collecting what I am, what am I to do? It's
You.
becoming financially a burden before I lose my home. I'm looking for charitable assistance. Anything would help. Greatly appreciate. That's what he. USCIS USCIS claimed in 2020 letter that Claus did not have enough evidence to
22.
prove his father's residence in the U.S. prior to his birth. Per News Network, the law requires a U.S. citizen parent to live in the United States for 10 years before the birth of the child in order for the child to obtain citizenship. In response, Claus reached out to Senator Marco Rubio's office for assistance. Genealogists hired by Claus later found records linking his father to the U.S. in the required time frame. Claus tells people that the only new development so far in his case have been attention from the news media. Other attorneys contacted him. He says that he's been in touch with investigation reporters based in Orlando who has congressional contacts. Claus also adds that he has not heard from Social Security Administration in the wake of public surrounding the case. I'm overwhelmed very much. And my anxiety levels is through the roof. I'm just looking to get some resolution. Okay, so that is wild. That is wild.
The fact that he served in their military, in the Marines, and that material never ever really just goes away. That's there. You just have to go to an office. But the fact that he served as our state police too, that is ridiculous. No one ever questioned it until he was asked for his Social Security benefits. Wow, that is shocking, crazy.
It's definitely one of those things that you would never really ponder. I think he wouldn't have pondered it because it's like you don't. Some people don't even think about that stuff. It's like just there, and he's 66, and he came when he was 2, so he would not have thought of that at all.
No, nobody would ever thought of it. I've been in this.
I don't know. Nobody would think. But there's a couple of people who definitely think.
Yeah, no, yeah.
But don't say that. No one would think.
No, I'm just saying that it's so bizarre that nobody questioned it when he joined the military, when he joined the state police. I mean, that makes me question so many parts of the government.
Oh no, that's an understatement. The government's never been very useful. We know this.
The government didn't care. He joined the military. He served a country. He served the United States, not freaking Canada. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Seriously. I mean, it frustrates me. So, I mean, and then you get it's hard to get into being a state trooper for all that matter. And the fact that he got it, and nobody questioned it. What if Florida decided not to give a shit? They're like, well, there's somebody who wants to enroll. Let's do it. He's got all the qualifications.
It could be also, for him at least, it could have been one of those things where he just made it, not faked it till he made it, but he was highly
he was oblivious. He didn't know.
Yeah,
he absolutely was not.
He was they're
like, oh, I've been here forever. It don't matter.
Exactly. So he was never really lying to himself. To himself,
he never questioned it.
Yeah. So that's where it gets wild. And I don't think he's. Yeah, the thing is, it comes down to the governmental side of this whole thing. Of just some. And the thing is, it's not just once, multiple layers of times where it never got done, and mostly at the quote the golden years of this man's life, where he should be trying to retire down in Florida, but now he's back to working because, well, this economy is not that great. We're not going to talk about that, but what are you going to do when you have?
We talked about it.
We talked too much about it. So what is he gonna do? Like, that's like this is more of a political topic, because definitely it's been estimated, at least, that Social Security is not going to be a thing for our generation. So I'm not too worried about that. I should.
You got a
A
pension.
lot of people should. But I've looked into retirement funds and stuff like that, because I know how bad it is now. So, like, I have what's the word? A net, So, because like, whatever happens there, and that's a topic for time. But this guy has to deal with it now. What's a man to do?
I know.
What's a man to do?
It is honestly sad. You think about it. It is really, really, really sad. Like, you would all expect, his parents would have taken the responsibility to taking care of that. Nobody questioned it. The government didn't question it for quite a few years, to the fact that they were enrolled to serve our country. The fact that should have gotten him an automatic, like, oh, he served our country, that should have been like, hey, he's definitely a U.S. citizen. Like, if he didn't believe in what the United States, he wouldn't have enrolled, right?
I don't know about that, but it's just one of those things. They should have done a basic check, at least. Basic check.
Yeah. And honestly, I think that the Social Security should give it to him. Honestly, he's put in his time. He's put in his years. I mean,
he's paid. He's paid.
He's paid his dues. Essentially, he has, and every way you describe the word, he's paid
but
his dues.
Overall, financially, what I'm talking about specifically here is he's paid his like taxes for the Social Security to this point. So why, at that point, why not pay him back if he's not going to get it?
Yeah.
Well, that's a whole different
I
story.
kind of understand. Like, I have a person in my life who is still working, and they're clearly in their 70s, but they do not actually have Social Security, because they never really became a citizen. So they're still working.
And that's not just a single story. There's thousands and thousands, probably millions of people like that. That is the sad truth out there. Oh, well. Any final thoughts on this story?
Nope, that's about it. I have no. That's all I have to say. I think that's very annoying and very frustrating. I feel his pain.
Let's hope he gets what he deserves. Most likely he.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what story do you want?
Yep. I don't know. There's so many interesting ones. The fecal one, the millennial couple.
Whatever you want. Whatever you want. There's a couple that I want.
I'm kind of torn. There's quite a few of them. I don't know which one. I can't really make up my mind. You'll have to make it up for me.
All right. Talk about the couple that invested money in vacation.
Sounds good.
Because that can transition to the other one I want to read too.
Okay, sounds good. A millennial couple invested in a $143,000 vacation home in Bali. It's become the crux of their early retirement strategy. Good on them. Corey and Casey Jones built a villa in Bali for 2.287 billion Indonesian rupiah, or $143,000. They have wanted to invest in a tangible asset that would earn income and double as a retirement home. Prior to do this, they had never traveled to Indonesia before. Oh, they're gutsy. They're gutsy. I would have looked at where the home was going to be built if I was going to invest into something like that. I don't know about you.
They probably looked at land and stuff like that. That's the thing. Not like they just bought it randomly.
Roy Jones and his wife, Casey, building a house in Bali seemed like a good idea, even though they'd never been to Indonesia. The couple from Tasmania, Australia, dream of retiring early. So they spent a lot of time investing in the stock market. We got a little bit, I guess, down on the fact that they were putting this money away, but we had nothing to show for it apart from numbers on a bit of paper. Jones, 37, told Business Insider. They wanted a tangible asset, and after some research, they settled on an idea of building an investment property overseas. We decided to give it us the ability to earn a good income, but also a place that we could potentially retire to in a country that was less expensive than Australia, Jones, a photographer and videographer, said. The couple has considered Thailand, the Philippines, and even Portugal, but they ultimately chose Bali because the research showed that it had the highest return on investment and that it was relatively easy for the foreigners to build a home there. According to ILA Global Consulting, it's possible for short-term rentals in Bali to yield a 15% annual return on investment, while others markets offers 5 to 10%.
15%.
Now my question is, would you do it?
Let me see here. Let me do a calculator really. Just using the math they gave us. Calculator time. They said annually, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just 143, 1, 2, 3. 15% return. Yearly, little over 20K a year.
Damn.
Of just income.
This I should be investing overseas. Screw the US. Let's go.
Oh no, yeah. No, that's not even a joke. That is a thing that people have been doing and talking about, because how there's very few places where some people's currency are better than the US dollar, but definitely other countries the US dollar is very strong and you can be basically a millionaire in other countries. You know, that is a truth. There's a lot of people that do that. They save up a not exorbitant amount of money, but a tangible amount of money that your quote common person like you myself could save up to then live like comfortably is an understatement, Liz. Like you can live like you're rich in some of these countries.
That's true.
So that's the thing. It's not a half baked joke. The thing is taking the actual time to research and like look into these and being able to do it early enough before it gets like these guys did themselves.
I got a year. It's 37. I'm close. I can do this right now.
It's not impossible, if that's what like.
No, it's not impossible.
So continue. So what happened here?
Although the couple has never been to the island before, they spent a lot of time in the Southeast Asia. So we knew that we liked the climate. We knew that we probably liked the culture and the food too, Jones said. First time in Bali. In 2022, the couple hopped on a plane to Bali for the first time. They were there for about 3 weeks, exploring the island and speaking to the different legal professionals and builders for insights on how they could started with their project. We spent a good chunk of time in different areas and made sure that we liked the area and they had a good understanding of what the area gave to the tourists, Jones said. He said that since traffic in Bali could be difficult to navigate, it was important that the area they chose had a good infrastructure and was easy to get to. Other than that, we were looking for a place that we could see ourselves retiring as well, Jones said. But we're looking for a peaceful but up-and-coming neighborhood the travelers would go on to. He eventually found a piece of land in the Bingin area near Uluwatu, a region of the southwestern tip of Bali. The best success they had actually just posting in the local Facebook groups to say that we were looking for land, and then people would reach out to us and let us know what they had available. Jones said, with the land that we end up getting, it was a local guy that showed us the land. He didn't own the land, but he knew the owners. And since foreigners aren't allowed to own land in Bali, the piece of land they have is on a 30-year lease, which the option to renew for another 30 years. They paid 720 million Indonesian rupiah, or about $44,700 for it.
So that's what they got for the lease. 30 years is a lot. Since you never know how long we're gonna live.
Yeah, exactly. And to have a lease for another 30, that's not bad.
No, that's the thing is like For the most part,
$44,000. Woo!
that's the other joke. It's like we never really
30
own.
years, though.
You know, the joke is we don't actually ever own land. You know, you're always just renting it.
True.
So, you know, at this point, why not just lease it at this point? So, you know, that's fair. That is fair. And yeah, if they're gonna lease it for 30 years, they're what, in their 30s, near 40s, when they're in the late 60s, early 70s, if they want to continue, or if they just want to leave at that point, you know.
Well, they were just renting it. I mean, till they retire. I mean, until they retire. I mean, for now, that's what I'm saying. Until they retire, they had that land there, so.
So basically, no. Actually, if they
could literally take that and they decided to renew for another 30 years, and that time.
Yeah, you just using 2 years worth of the estimated return, like just 2 years of using it as a tourist spot for other people, gives them their second lease. You know,
income.
So you know, at that point, yeah, why not? All right, continue.
Yeah, that's. A 2-story villa, which sits on 33 square foot plot, has 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. The entire building, including furniture and permits, cost 2.287 billion Indonesia rupiah, or about $143,000. Jones said that he chose to build a house from scratch because it was cheaper than buying one. According to the property website Property Bali, a new 2-bedroom villa near Bingen can cost from 3.525 to 5.575 billion Indian rupiah, depending on the size, the complexity of the build, and the lease left on the land. If there were anything wrong with the building that already existed, we wouldn't be able to tell, he added. But by building ourselves, we could dictate the standards that went into the building. Safety standards aside, it also meant they could design the building the way they wanted it. Jones described it as a mix between modern, industrial, and boho with a touch of Balinese influence.
Yeah, it looks nice. Just looking at it.
Kind of describe a bit.
Yeah, it's fine. We don't need to really describe. Just looking into it. It looks nice. Some of the photos they have, it looks like a vacation spot you would do at an Airbnb. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
You know, they were smart. You know, the idea of like, if you're gonna build it from scratch, because then you know what you have in store and how you want it designed. Because if they really want this to be their retirement place, why not make it to your liking a little bit,
to your specifications? Yeah.
Okay, get to the kind of the final part.
Which part? I'm looking at where I can
keep going.
it. So,
it's on
the retiring in Bali part.
Yeah.
The villa can be rented on Airbnb for a minimum of 2 nights. At a press time, it has 4.58 star rating based on 26 reviews. Initially, we planned to spend a couple months a year in Bali, but with the way that things have gone, how popular it is, I think it would be more financially sense to leave rented out Airbnb all the time, Jones said. They said Jones hopes to retire in the villa in Bali in the next 5 to 6 years.
Oh wow, that is early.
I know, right?
What were you thinking? What were you thinking their retirement time was going to be?
That's great. I mean, the fact I was thinking that it was going to be closer to 50, but the fact that they're planning on doing like when they're 45-ish, give or take.
Wait, they were how old?
47, so
plus 6,
43 then.
43, early 40s.
Early 40s. I was thinking later, but yeah.
I was thinking awesome. 50s too. I was thinking 50s. Wow.
Yeah. They actually want to retire early. Good for them. Good for them. I mean, I knew a couple that actually retired and put their kids through private school and all their colleges. They had retired, like, I think, and by the time they were 40. So I'm like, good on them. Good on them. Like, I would love to live that life.
Don't we all, Liz? So, don't we all?
Yeah, we still have to do a little bit of work to keep that, funds going. So, but the fact that they did it, I'm like, good for them. So. This is a long time ago. I haven't spoken to that couple, so yeah, that's pretty cool. That's think about it.
So yeah, it's one of those things where it's not impossible because right now, well, as much as we I'll avoid talking about this topic. It's really bad to be in the States right now. And that's why it is kind of a half joke that people are leaving to other parts of the world where you can stretch that dollar even more, to be able to live this like literally luxury lifestyle. Like look at this. Like these are the types of homes that cost like $500,000 here in the States minimum.
Yeah, right? Right? Oh God. It's crazy. It's just it really is. Nobody's gonna be able to do it, man. Nobody's gonna be able to live in the States.
Well, no,
Freedom.
you're not
Screw
supposed.
that.
You're not supposed to. You're supposed to.
You don't have freedom no more.
Actually, I'm looking at this place really quick. How much it costs? Do a random date. He's busy. SCG. For some reason, converting it to something else.
Yeah, the rupiah. Indonesia rupiah. Rupiah? I don't know. Maybe I'm mutilating that, but
Oh, the Singapore dollar.
mm. Ooh, and tell us, inform us, Jesus.
A single night is 478 Singaporean dollars.
Which is in US dollars, what?
I am trying to find out because if it's not, it's like $1 a day.
What? What?
Give me a second. That's why I'm like, wait a second, that's not right. That's
What?
SGD.
Well, I've heard, if you go to Bali, it's expensive to get to Bali, right? I've heard that. But once you get there, everything's cheap. Hella cheap. For mere cents on the dollar.
Okay, here we go. So it is $355. That's about right for that kind of place. If you think about it, yeah. So yeah, you can rake in a good amount of money if you're charging close to $400 a night there, and you're gonna stay there at least an entire week.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
So what? So yeah, it's just a single week visit. Let's just say 400. That calculator.
I don't know. What did you do with it?
Just saying that's 400 times 7. That's an easy $2,500 in your pocket.
How much?
2,500 plus for 1 week staying at someone staying at you.
They said a minimum 2 nights. You have to have a minimum 2 nights there.
That's a minimum $800.
All right, let's go.
Let's
start making our income.
Maybe I want to be. I'll be down for that. Okay, let's continue.
Couple pieces of property, I definitely could afford that.
Hey, use it as your retirement plan. It sounds like it works.
I know, right?
Like use it to earn some money, some side income, and then if it's time, it's time. Or basically just work.
6 years. Let's see. Where would I be in 6 years? I think it'd be possible.
You could even just work part-time at that point too. Like give yourself a time to relax. Like work 3 days a week. Enjoy long weekends. Things like that.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Now continuing that thing about housing, this is the other one that got me interested was there were on BuzzFeed, apparently there was 9 stubborn homeowners who won't budge as their neighborhood evolved around them. Now, I find this amusing because this...
I posted that one.
I find this amusing because it reminds me of the Up story a little bit. Not the whole story, but just the intro, where the guy's not willing to. So, so, so this is written by someone. So they are saying, as a millennial, I can't relate to being a homeowner, but I can relate to getting pissed off.
Concur.
But I can relate to getting pissed off when people tell me what to do. There are 11 homeowners who stood their ground as they were pressured to move from their property. So the first one is this huge road in China was built around a house after an elderly couple refused to move. Oh, wow.
Good on them. It's a nice, like, what, 4 or 5 story? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
Six.
With a nice balcony. Right?
No, there's 6, and then there's one more on top.
5.
1, 2.
I think I guess 5.
1, 2,
it's the bottom.
3, 4, 5. Oh, it is 5. And then the attic. I bet. That's you can even tell where they ripped the other houses away. You can see the wall.
Yes. This couple was like, nope, I'm staying where I'm put. You're just gonna have to go around me. Good on them. Good on them.
You know,
they at least have a piece of driveway at least so that the cars can park there.
No, they just go around. Oh, they do have a place to park right there. And even the wiring is still there too, because they couldn't move the lines.
Oh yeah, they couldn't. They had to give them electricity.
So, here's 2. These 2 houses refused to move from a newly parked public park in Bangkok. At least they gotta have they get a park around them.
I know. That's kind of nice.
That is kind of
like
nice.
An upscale neighborhood without having to move.
That is
actually pretty good.
That is not bad.
Lie. Yeah, it looks like a golf course almost. It looks just so pristine and clean and nice stroll in the park. Hi, neighbor. Do you love our walk in the neighborhood?
Number 3. When Apple was building a massive data center in rural North Carolina, a couple who had lived there for 34 years refused to sell their house, a plot of land worth $181,000. After making countless offers, Apple eventually paid them $1.7 million to leave.
No, million, not billion. I wish it was billion.
No, I said million. I said million. I said million. Oh. But they still said no. 1.7 mil? Not a lot. That is a lot.
Almost 10 times the worth offer.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. But it's not a lot of money in reality.
Yeah, no kidding.
Like,
I just get you, man.
I would have like it would have to be a little bit more. Okay. When you really won't sell.
Yeah, it looks like it's a building next to a skyrise.
Skyscraper, yeah. It's like a little like it looks like it's just an apartment complex itself.
Yeah, a little stone like little brick building. Yeah, brick building. Just
so that's what happens when you don't sell to the government. So it looks like there's just this one building that's in a roundabout.
Literally.
They probably had to build that huge way. God, the noise has to suck so bad.
It looks like a multitude of building, like a lot of, apartments. So
yeah,
or condos, it could be for all that.
It could probably
you don't know, but
cheap living. It reminds me of an episode of Cat Dog, so that's what I like. Let's see here. In China, nail house are home belonging to people who refuse to make room for development. This is what local government and developers do to them.
It literally looked like making it on an anthill, basically.
Damn. Forcing them. That is cruel.
That is cruel.
It's either you drive them out or you don't. And then as a family turned down 50 mil from a developer to build a suburb around their home.
It's a nice patch of grass amongst all these great buildings, so I think it's great. Actually, I think it's a great patch.
That is a nice patch of land, and it's a nice house too.
Yeah, it's not like a little cheap little house. It's a nice look. It looks like almost a mansion almost from here. You can see on the pictures.
Why not, right? At that point.
Yeah.
But 50 mil.
Not enough for worth it, probably.
Maybe not for them,
Yeah.
So this stubborn Oh, we should actually describe this a little. We should be describing some of the to our listeners.
I tried. I've been trying.
Yeah, it's like this one's more. If you're picturing the one we were just recent, it's more of like this long strip of land with just think of all those like cookie cutter houses around it. Is with like it's nice. The one stubborn
Like I
homeowner.
said, it's a nice patch of green amongst this all this gray.
So let's see here.
Literally.
The one stubborn homeowner didn't want to sell his house and his neighbor and his new neighborhood.
It looks like, oh my gosh, it looks like a lot of condo or apartment complex, a huge building, and it's just wrapping around him.
Yeah.
He's like, nope, I'm not leaving my little plot of land right here.
And finally, this
I guess the
homeowner
trees kind of
in
accented out.
and this one homeowner in China refused to sell their land to a private development company, and he basically has
It
a
looks like a parking lot, literally. They could have a party and have all the parking for it.
room. I like how he has the bumpers around him too. Make sure, like, hey, this is my
Is it
land.
bumpers? I don't know, but it's funny either way.
Yeah, and he has cones. Hey, at least he has a mall nearby too. He could just walk to the malls.
Oh, honey, I gotta go to the mall. Do you want anything? Yeah, I'll walk with you.
They got a bar.
I know, right? But like, literally, they could have a party. Jesus, and have all the parking they want. Oh, just find a spot. It'll be fine.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah, it's one of these things where if you hold out long enough, you can make a decent amount of money out of it, or you just hold out and just be one of those anomalies. Like I've thought about it here and there, but
I'm not giving up. No, I'm not moving. You can't pay me enough.
well, this is where you're that one person who takes the 30 mil and then buys the Bali house.
There we go. Yeah. No, give me 50 mil. I'll pick the 50 mil, and then I'll do that.
All right. It looks
investments, baby, investments.
Looks like we have enough time for one more. Let's talk about the whole portal stuff that happened in York and Dublin.
Ooh, what's that one?
Oh, did you not hear about this?
No.
So, the idea of having an eye, because, with this technological day and age, you can talk to anyone around the world. We've had people on this show from across the planet, Canada, Australia, Europe. We've had a lot of people. That's where we are. Like, we can have chats with people. So why not create a portal from one city to another? Isn't that a great idea, Liz?
Okay, I feel like there's some downfall to this. Just the way you're leading with this, I'm like, do tell.
So,
Jesus.
According to Rolling Stone, who's thought a New York to Dublin portal was a good idea? This guy did. So, last Sunday, Ava Louise and her boyfriend Vinny Buffa, I believe, woke up in their home in Jersey City, took the train to Midtown Manhattan, and Louise flashed her boobs to the people of Dublin.
That's awesome.
Bruh.
I was just in Dublin. That's hilarious.
So, yeah.
I did not hear about this. Not all my time I was there. Not hear about this.
So that's kind of what happened. So to kind of get some context. So originally this was, it's a way for two different cities to kind of get some, a glimpse of each other in a giant basic portal, right? The idea is good to trying to kind of say it's real time live stream. So you're seeing on day one, it got a lot of fun, positive publicity. People were there greeting each other. But, people will be people. And, so this first incident. So the 25-year-old OnlyFans creator, Transcontinental Self-Expose, was made possible thanks to the art installation known as The Portal, which connected people in New York to those in the Irish capital via a 24-hour live video feed on display in the two circular sculptures. The project was intended to foster goodwill and sense of shared humanity between people thousands of miles apart. Estelle Louise was among a number of people in both cities who seized this chance to get up with up to no good, even if it was refusing to see it that way. Oh, she's not seeing it as she did something bad. I think I made the portal nicer, she told Rolling Stone. Who doesn't love a pair of tits? That's what she said.
Who doesn't love a pair of tits?
The two portals called the NYC portal to Dublin portal, respectively, but known collectively as the portal, were the work of the
Lithuanian?
Yeah, Lithuanian artist Bennett Dastis. I think that's how it is. Yeah, sorry about your name. Whoever the artist is. Because I'm not the one, at least I didn't ruin your idea here. Who has made an underestimated just how sick and twisted we all are. That's the thing. Is I could have told him this is not a good idea. I would have been the first one to tell him. Look what people just do on regular live streams. I
know, right? You got anything? They're trying to prepare for their OnlyFans page. Come on.
So when Gilsley helped unveil the portal on May 8th, he had hoped the project would run for months, but instead the two 3.5-ton sculptures had to be switched off temporarily at least less than a week after launching. About right. I'm surprised it lasted a little longer than that.
Yeah, I'm surprised it lasted a week. I was 24 hours maybe.
With Dublin officials bemoaning a number of incidents of inappropriate behavior involving nudity, references to terrorism, and in one particular high concept insult, potatoes. In hindsight,
hey, I'm fed my potatoes. They're my potatoes. I love my potatoes. Okay.
And look at that shit.
I wouldn't say it. In hindsight, erecting a portal that connected New Yorkers with the Irish was perhaps only ever going to end one way. Gaulis, 34, told Rolling Stones that he and his team are trying to find ways to reopen the artwork to account for two cities' behavioral proclivities. Yeah, I don't know. You need security around that thing. Sounding almost like a parent of a pair of misbehaving children, he didn't seem angry, just disappointed. Well, yeah. He's a bit disappointed in himself for even thinking about it,
Really think it was Are you out of your mind? I don't understand. I mean, it's just fair. I think it's fun. I think it's all in good heckle. I don't think that's a problem. Honestly, where are you going to find really behaving countries? Where? I guess you put one in China. I don't know where to the next place.
Nah, you can't put one in China.
No, they don't want you to see how they're running their government.
Yeah, next thing you would want one in North Korea, Liz. I know you would. Liz just wants to put one.
I would like to see how the other half look like, man.
But yeah, the anything else in this thing? It's more of what's happening. People were putting images of potatoes. People were putting photos of 9/11, and it's that's the thing. It's it's a good idea if people were civilized.
We are civilized. What are you talking about?
We are not civilized people.
What? Why not? We're not civilized. Come on. We are totally civilized human beings. We
Fuck
all
me, right?
go back to our ape days.
Liz, we're not civilized.
I never knew that.
She's the most uncivilized person I know. So that's the thing. Yep. It is disappointing that the idea comes from a good place. We can all agree on that.
Yeah, I get the idea. I'm not dissing on it. I think it's a great opportunity. But again, we are exactly what we are. We are human beings, and we love to be fun, and we like to poke at each other. I think
I don't know. I don't think some of those ideas were fun. Showing people 9/11 is not fun.
Not the terrorism, not the terrorism part. But you know,
Liz likes throwing potatoes at Irish people. That's what you're saying right now, Liz.
Excuse me, I'm very Irish, and I've been to Ireland, unlike you, mister, who sits in his little cave.
But no, the ideas were not fun.
No, not the ideas, but I mean just human nature. We're just prone to be like, hey, we're superior from the next person. Americans have that stupid ideology. It's just how it is. I don't know why you thought it was great. I mean... I really don't.
Well, he's not.
I give him the idea.
Well, he's not American to begin with, so.
Yeah, exactly. He's not American. He's a Lithuanian, and which is fine. It's cool. You just should have realized he should have done like between, I don't know, 2 European countries maybe. They would have more civility towards each other because they can hop and skip and see each other at any moment.
I don't know. The like I said, one, he's our age, so he should have some semblance of idea how the world is. Like I said, it's the concept and idea is very like understanding from a general perspective, but we are just not built for that level of like moments. At the end of the day, it can be heartwarming for a moment, but people will always find a way to ruin it for everyone else. That's the thing. Now, from what my understanding is, this article is a little older. At this point, they are reopening it soon with a little bit more security. Let me see if it's on the bottom of this. New York has stubbed his
portal. Sorry, I love the name of that. As a digital glory hole.
To some people, yeah, at this point.
It's pretty funny.
Anything else? Yeah. It's disappointing. The other disappointing is like he probably put a lot of work and time into this project with a lot of people, and it just gets ruined. It gets ruined. It's disheartening to.
Hey, Louise made really good money. She went up to.
Oh no, she did great. No, she did great. No, she did her part perfectly well. She took the opportunity, advertised. There you go. Yeah. Some people did. Some of the other things that I'm looking here is like there's a lady in Dublin that was drunk and was trying to just hump the display. I don't know. It's just location wise. Also, I get it. Some of the biggest cities too.
I get big cities. Yes, I do definitely. There's something that's funny. I mean, like New York City is known for that kind of shenanigans. Like, and Dublin's gonna throw it right back at you.
The other thing is like
one of the nicest people I've ever met, but I feel like if you worked them the right way, they'll get right back at you.
Yeah, and the last thing is the other thing is like you just don't know who's watching on the other side. It could be kids just walking by. People were like mooning, flashing. I don't know if you children.
No, I don't. But I'm sure if I go to a concert, which is in the fairly new near future of my life, who knows what they'll see? It's gonna be interesting. So.
Yeah, they would just cover their eyes as they see their mother flashing. Mom.
I love the grinding idea. Grinding on hours.
But yeah, that's any final thoughts on the portals, Liz?
Now, if only I could, be able to walk through the portal to the other side.
Teleportation. We will one day, Liz, one way in VR.
VR. No, I want to actually physically walk through a portal. Be like, I'm in another country. Oh yeah.
So there you guys go.
Like that movie we watched.
Yeah, exactly. So everyone, let us know your thoughts on any of the things we talked about. You know, what would you do if you were able to talk to someone on a giant portal? You could do it on your phone, but you know, let us know down in the comments. Don't forget to share the podcast on any social media platforms, or best way of all, tell a friend. Best way to share the show is one of the best ways to do it. So yeah, thanks again everyone for listening or watching. Until next time, see you.
Bye.